Guys, welcome back to my channel. I have had over the years a couple of requests to do my favorite eyeshadow combinations, meaning what shades do I like to pair with what shades to make a full look. So what I decided to do was actually film my 5 most worn eyeshadow looks, kind of a 2-in-1. I'm going to show you what I wear the most and I love the most. I'm also going to show you the combinations that make up those looks, kind of tell you when I would wear them, why I chose them, all of that good stuff. So I have done 5 different looks over 5 different days, and I'm going to cut to each one and show you. Now, the one look that I did in my most worn makeup from 2022 is not included in this because I quite literally just posted it. So that is definitely within this video. It is one that I wear the most. I love it so much. So if you want to go check out that video, I'll put up a card for it. I just felt like it would be super redundant, even though the majority of these looks that I'm going to do have been shown on my channel before. But now they're just in one big conglomeration of a video. So hopefully you enjoy it, find it helpful. Without further ado, let's jump into the first of 5 eyeshadow combination / looks that I wear the most. So this eye look might be the oldest one that I have been doing, meaning I've had probably these products the longest, and I might go a couple weeks in between, but every single time I wear it, I love it. Now, I usually tend to choose this one if I am wearing more of like a pink lip or a pink neutral cheek. If I'm wearing like an orange top, I'm probably not going to be doing this eye look, but it ends up being fairly neutral in the end. Super easy. I'm taking the blush I already have on my cheeks, which is the Jane Iredale Flawless. Now, this is the new reformulated, repackaged blush, but I have been doing this for a very long time with the old Flawless as well. And I am going to put this in my crease like I often do with whatever blush is on my cheeks. It's a very easy way to reduce the amount of products you're using. It's foolproof. It's going to look good. Monochromatic. It's going to match what you've already got going on your face. So if you're ever like, I just don't know what to do, start off with that and then build upon the eye look, or just put the blush in the crease. So I'm going to take that on a Refer 15 and just put this in the crease. This is more of a neutral toned blush. It almost has a little bit of a pinky brown undertone. And I feel like the more neutral brown comes off of my cheeks, but when I put it on my eyes, you see a little bit more of that pink undertone come through. So just build that up to however dark you want it. And then I pull out a shadow stick, and this is from Glow Skin Beauty, and it is in the shade Keepsake. Now I will swatch it for you. It's kind of like a neutral brown, slight pink undertone. Do you sense a theme here? Bronzy shade with a hint of a sheen. I feel like the sheen comes off more in the swatch than it does on the eye. And I basically put that all over the lid up into my crease. This is not a dark color. It comes off as more of a wash of color, which I like. If it were much darker, it would put it more in the smoky eye category, and that's not what I'm looking for when I do this look. So all over the lid, and then I take a little bit underneath the eye, and then I finish out by using a smaller, fluffier brush. This is the Refer 14 with the Flawless blush, and kind of blend that out. And then I just put on some mascara and I am good to go. I don't do liner in this look. It is a look that I do when I have the intention of being a little understated. Like if I'm not trying to go out and bling my eyeshadow away and have people see it from like 50 feet away. Now, sometimes that is my intention. But if I'm just like have some appointments or going to the doctor, but still want to like put a little something on, that's kind of when I choose to do this look. Super simple, 2 shades, mascara, and I'm out the door. So let's head on to the next look. Okay, y'all ready for another super simple 2 shadow look? I promise not all of them are gonna be 2 shadows, but I don't think any of them are more than 3 because that is my MO. I just like super fast, super easy, put together eye looks. This is one that I choose when, again, I don't want something too elaborate. It's definitely like a daytime look. to be quite honest. All of these are like daytime looks for me, but some people would find some more appropriate for day and some more appropriate for night. This would be one of those like super simple daytime looks, but this I choose when maybe I don't have a clue what I'm going to wear yet. When that happens, I tend to choose more neutral shades than anything else, because if I end up putting on orange eyeshadow and then go into my closet and I'm like, oh, I really wanted to wear that purple sweater today, but I can't because I've got orange eyeshadow. Yes, you can, obviously, but they would clash. And for me, I probably wouldn't choose purple. So this is definitely one that I choose for a very neutral look. And it is two very simple shadows from the same brand, Chantecaille. Are we surprised? And I'm going to start out with Sylvie, which is one of my favorite. These are both Mermaid eye colors. And this is pretty similar to a look I did recently in a full face of Chantecaille with just one little difference. So I'm going to take my Refer number 32, which is I think technically like a concealer brush, but I love using this for this eyeshadow especially because it has almost like a cream to powder kind of bouncy feel to it. And I just feel like it picks it up really well. So this is a nice neutral brown shade, and I'm using this brush to wash that all across my lid and up into my crease. And I think all of y'all know this already, but all of these looks can be done with your existing products. Obviously, if you like the looks of a product, you're more than welcome to buy it. But if you already have something similar, it's more technique than it is actual products. But this product is so good. These Mermaid eyeshadows in general are so good. And then I'm going to take Copper in the same Mermaid eyeshadow. Sylvie is more of a matte shade. Copper definitely has a shimmer to it, but it's not metallic by any means. I do like to use this one with my finger. So I'll just take my ring finger into Copper and I will concentrate this more on my lid and not worry about it going up into my crease. But what it does is it lightens that Sylvie just a touch, not a ton, just a touch. And it gives a little bit of a reflection. I said that weird. Reflection as, you know, I close my eyes or turn my head. This can also be done with whatever highlight you choose to wear that day if you are someone who likes to wear a highlight, so that you don't have to pull out a separate shade. It can also be done with your bronzer and highlight, the same type of technique. And then I'll go back into Sylvie with my Wayne Goss number 19 brush and smudge that under my eye. This is also not a step that you have to do. Some people don't feel comfortable with shadow under their eyes. I feel like when I put it under my eyes and I take it around and make sure that it kind of connects with that crease shade, it just finishes everything off, makes things look more put together on my eyes personally. And if you feel like you can't get the hang of it, definitely try doing this before you wash your face at night for a couple of weeks. That way, if you mess up, you're about to wash it off anyways, and you can get yourself more comfortable with how it looks, and then maybe one day try it during the day, or maybe decide you don't like it. Mascara on, and eye look is finished. So again, doesn't matter what I go put on, doesn't matter what lipstick or blush I choose to wear. It could be in the cool, the neutral, or the warm category, and this eye look is going to work every single time. So that's why I choose to wear this one, also because it takes me all of like 90 seconds tops. So let's go on to the next look. Okay, today's eye look is going to be one that I've definitely already shown during a Get Ready With Me sometime last year, I think. It is probably out of all of these, the one that I get the most compliments on or questions asked about what do I have on my eyes. And it is the one that I reach for the most when I am wearing something more cool toned. So something more in like the mauve purple or pink or burgundy, that kind of tones. This tends to be what I reach for when I don't want to go searching for a new look. And the majority of the look is going to come from the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk quad. Out of all of the quads, this is my favorite and the one that I use the most. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into this pink matte shade right here, which I honestly cannot believe I have not hit pan on yet. And that is going to be my crease shade. I wish that she sold these shades separately because I would get multiples of these. One for personal, one for my kit. It is one of my favorite pink shades. It's a shade that if you're scared to wear pink, because I know a lot of people are, they think that it might make them look sick. It's a shade that I feel like is perfect for that because it doesn't make you look sick. It still has that pink in it, but it's so perfect in tone. It's really hard to explain, but it is just, to me, the perfect pink eyeshadow. And then I'm going to take a shadow stick. I often will incorporate shadow sticks or cream shadows within a look underneath the lid color to A, maybe help them adhere better, or B, make them pop a little bit more. And in this case, I think it's more of like a popping situation. And I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown Golden Pink eyeshadow stick. Obviously, this is a step you don't have to do, but I just feel like it adds a little more oomph to the look. It's this beautiful, like champagne shade with a touch of a pink hue to it. And that's all I have left. I just put it all the way up and that is all I have left, which is so sad. I will be repurchasing this because it's obviously one that I wear the most. Then I'm going to go into this shade right here. So this shade is more of like a satin sheen. And then this shade is more of a glitter topper, which is in the majority of the Charlotte Tilbury quads. I'm going to take that sheen shade and press it on top of that golden pink. Now, again, if you did not want this to be as loud, you can definitely skip the eyeshadow crayon and it will be more subdued. But I just really like the looks of this. And then I'm going to take this darker shade down here and I'm going to stamp that in the outer corner. Again, this is like my kind of eye look that I just change up the colors. Obviously, I do different techniques, but this is the one I do the most often. And this is a Sigma E35. I think it's the E35. It's the diffused blend. And I love the size of this because I can quite literally just lay it down on the end of my eye and stamp that color on. And that's the exact spot that I want it. I don't always, but sometimes I'll go in with that darker shade, which is not, it's the darkest in the palette, but it's not a dark shade. And I'll kind of use that as a very subtle liner because it is not very dark. It's not going to be anything but subtle. It's just going to give a tiny bit of definition to the lash line and round out the look. But I definitely don't do this every single time. I really like the look of this without anything on the lash line. Finish it off per usual. I will go back into that same crease shade that I used, that pink one, and I will buff under my eyes. I have a feeling somebody's gonna say, after watching this video, I wish you would have shown us a look without buffing under your eyes. But I would be lying as to my most often used eyeshadow looks because I buff under my eyes 99% of the time. Now, if you want to search my channel for like no makeup looks, those are really the only times that I don't put anything under my eyes. But if I'm being honest about how I wear these looks, when I wear these looks, this is a step that I do. It's not for everyone. You don't have to do it. To finish off the look, I did use my L'Oreal Voluminous Burgundy Mascara. I tend to reach for this one, not only when I do cool tone looks, because I reach for it often, but I do feel like adding a little bit more of that tone to the eyes really works well with the cool tones of the eyeshadows and helps my eyes pop even more. So I did want to mention that as well. So again, this is just the one that I choose to wear if I'm wearing pinks or purples. It's easy. I can travel with that one palette and one shadow stick and then pick something for like the warmer or more neutral days and I'm good to go. So let's jump in to the next look. Okay, so this look might be something that could be interpreted as a nighttime look. I don't really do that. Like I just wear what I like to wear. And I have also done this one on my channel before. Can you sense a theme? There's a reason that I've shown these before because I truly do wear them all the time. And this was one that I did like my go-to look lately because when I first started wearing this, I wore it like every day for like 2 weeks. It is pretty neutral. So, you know, you could also wear whatever you wanted to with it, but it is a very easy go-to look for if you just want to dress something up a little bit more, have a little bit more shimmer on your eyes, but still super easy. I'm going to start out with a crease color and I'm just going to use whatever bronzer I used that day. I think in the video I used maybe the Chantecaille bronzer, but today I used, and really for like the past 2 weeks, I've been using my Jouer Duo. I talked about this a lot lately because I can't stop using it. And I think, honestly, I'm just going to kind of mix the two bronzers together on a crease brush and use that for my crease color. So again, it's 3 shades, but really it's only 2 eyeshadow shades because you're already going to have your bronzer out if you use that on your face, or you're already going to have it packed if you want to travel with this look. And then I'm going to use 2 of the Chantecaille Luminescent eye shades. The first one I'm going to use is Giraffe, and this is a darker chocolatey brown shade. And I'm going to take a flat shader brush. This is actually the Beauty Counter. I think it's the all over eye brush. I am going to load one side up and start on my outer corner and kind of stamp that shade pretty much on the outer half almost. This is a very pretty shade to do an all over smoky eye, and very simple because you would literally just put this all over the lid, maybe a little bronzer in the crease like I have, and you're good to go. And then I'm going to turn that brush over to the other side, and I'm going to use the shade Cheetah, which is this really pretty gold shade, which I put a big dent in. And I'm just going to put that in the inner corner and meet up with the Giraffe shade, and maybe do a little bit of an overlap just to kind of soften the edge where the two meet. Then I'm going to go in with the eyeliner from Chantecaille in Jasper, and I'm going to roughly line my eye and then just go in with a synthetic brush and kind of blend it out a little bit just to give it more of like a smokier blown out effect, which is typically, if I'm going to use a liner, like an actual pencil liner to line my eyes instead of eyeshadow, that's typically what I do. Then I'm going to take a very small amount of that Jasper just on the outer corner of my under eye. And I like these eyeliners because they have quite a bit of playtime, meaning they're going to be smudgeable for, you know, a little bit longer than some other liners after I apply. And I'm just going to take some of that bronzer and use that to buff under my eyes while simultaneously smudging out that Jasper just a little bit to where it's not like a harsh line. Finished it off with my Chantecaille mascara, and that is the look. Super easy, but again, one that's a little bit more, I don't even want to say intense, but it is, just a little bit more nighttime appropriate, but you best believe it's 9 o'clock in the morning and I am going to rock this all day long. So I think, how many more do we have? I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and get into the next look. It's the last eye look. I'm kind of sad. I've really been enjoying filming these looks because they're my favorite. And it's hard for me to say that I have a legit favorite out of my favorites. This might be it. I don't know. This is, again, something I have done on camera. I did this look with Abby Bliss White on a live that we did because she got this palette and wanted to know how best to use it. Now, this is very well loved. This is the Viseart Neutral Mattes palette. And this is the old packaging. They went to newer packaging and now they even have minis of this. So I'll try to link as many as I can. But this is going to be an all matte look. And this is the palette I reach for often when I want that look. When do I want an all matte look? I don't have really a reason for it. It's great for day or night. But I always end up loving how all matte looks turn out. And I don't know why I don't do them more. And I tell myself that every time I wear one. I'm like, why don't I do this more? I really, really like how this turned out. I'm going to start with this peachy color right here, which is, as you can tell, my favorite shade in the palette. It's a gorgeous crease shade. It's a gorgeous, I can't speak, wash of color, especially if you have even more fair skin than I do, because it will show up a little bit darker on the eye. But I am just using a Wayne Goss number 16 to apply this into the crease. Now, Viseart shadows are a little bit drier in texture than other shadows. I personally like that. I feel like drier shades are a little bit more forgiving. They have less fallout. There's not much kick up to this palette, especially compared to some other shadows in my collection. And they're very buildable. It's not like you're gonna put too much pigment onto your eye when you first apply it, which makes them very forgiving, very user-friendly. And I just feel like everybody should have a Viseart palette in their collection. At least one, if not multiples, which I do because I love them. Now, in the video with Abby, before I did the white color, which I'm gonna use for my lid, I put a little bit of concealer down. If you want the white to really pop, if you want a super bright matte lid color, definitely putting a concealer down, especially one that is maybe even lighter than you would use under your eye, is going to help that shade pop even more. For the sake of ease and less product, I'm gonna do it without the concealer. But you can go back and watch that video if you want to see how I use the concealer. So I'm just going to use, this is actually an E25 from Sigma. So it's definitely, it's like more tapered, but it's not super dense. It has a little bit more of a give to it. There's no rhyme or reason why I do that. And I'm going to apply that white shade just on that inner corner and first 2/3 of the lid. When you're doing a matte look, you don't even have to put a lid shade on, especially if you've primed your eye. That's gonna make it look more natural, more lived in. I do like a very bright lid when I'm doing an all matte look. And then I'm gonna take a Rephr 26, which is a pointed pencil brush, and I'm gonna go into this shade right here, this more orangey toned shade, a rust color. I love this palette because you have, you know, the lighter neutrals up top. You have a little bit more of some warmer browns. This one's definitely more neutral. And the bottoms are more cool tone browns. These are also great shades for eyebrows. So if you are a professional makeup artist, it's a great all-in-one palette to have in your kit. I'm gonna take that rust color and I'm just going to apply that on the outer corner, kind of the outer third. Then I'm gonna take the Rephr 29 liner brush and go in with the darkest brown shade, which is right here, right next to that rust color we just used. And I'm gonna use this as a liner and go all the way into the inner corner of my eye, which is easiest to do when the eye is open. And then I'm gonna take a Rephr 13, which is a tiny little fluffy brush, a little bit smaller than the ones I usually use underneath my eyes. And I'm gonna go in with the brown on the other side of the rust shade, which is right here. Little bit lighter than that liner color. And I'm just gonna take that, I'm gonna start where the liner is, and I'm gonna take it and just kind of, just go over where that liner is, just to give a little bit of a depth and difference of color right on the outer corner. If you are someone who likes a winged liner, you can definitely pull this up and kind of do a smoked out wing. But I don't know, there's just something about this that deepens up that outer corner level that I really enjoy. And then for under the eyes, I'm gonna mix that brown that I just used to smoke out the liner with that rust color, using a little bit more of the rust color. So when I do that, I will kind of tap it into the rust and then one time in the brown and then a couple more times in the rust. It deepens up the rust a little bit without being too dark. And that's what I'm gonna use to smoke out the lower lash line, if I can get the hair out of my eye. Chantecaille mascara and the look is done. So again, I wanted to not only obviously feature a favorite look of mine, but I also wanted to make sure it was all matte. Definitely the palette that I reach for the most when I want that look, and definitely one that, again, I don't know why I don't do more. So that is the roundup of my favorite eyeshadow combinations, eyeshadow looks. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you want to see anything else. Everything that I used for each day is going to be listed and linked down in the description box below. So thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.